It's time to live the life you deserve. Trade Genius offers daily stock market alerts sent straight to your mobile device. We do the research on the market, then we text you when we buy and when we sell. We do all the work. You make the profits. It's that easy. Take advantage of our 70% average win today and try us out for $19.99. Sign up today and start living the life you deserve.
That quote from Washington was that government is not reason, it's not eloquence, it's force. Like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. And you got to kind of wonder, because he held a political office and he still had that view of politics, or at least of government, any government. And Jefferson said, experience hath shown that even under the best forms of government, those entrusted with power have in time and by slow operations perverted it into tyranny. And that's really what we're seeing today. A lot of people don't understand that even if they have dollars in their pockets, they're actually slaves to the system, because those dollars are nothing more than debt. It's a Federal Reserve note. It's a note of debt. It's not a note of value. It's not a certificate that's backed by anything.
Look at the dollar, and for every dollar you have in your pocket, you pay the Federal Reserve System 3.5 cents a year. Now think about that from 1913. For every dollar in your pocket, you pay the Federal Reserve System 3.5 cents. And we've had, because of debt spending, and a debt can never pay a debt, we've had debt spending since 1913. There were a lot of positive years, but if you look behind it, it was all based on debt. You're right. They're all debt notes, and we're paying for them. These are not ours. The only way you can own your home is if on the last payment you pay in silver or gold. And it has to be offered. Otherwise, you have to pay property taxes because you don't own your home. Just try not paying your property taxes for 2 years and see how long it takes them to seize your home.
Now what is that last payment in precious metals? How does that eradicate?
Okay, if you pay last payment in precious metals, if you take a $5 silver coin that's worth $15 and you pay off your mortgage with that last $5 coin, you pay it off with real money, M-O-N-E-Y, not currency. And what that means is you gain a loyal ownership or title of your land. That means you never pay any property taxes, because the definition of liberty is freedom. And the definition of freedom is you own the land on which you stand. Nobody can ever tax you or tell you what to do on your own land. That's the definition of freedom in the Black's Law Dictionary from 1960. And so if you pay your last dollar off on your home, take a $5 mortgage out on your home and pay it back with a piece of silver. But to have the courts honor the rule of law means the courts make the law, not the people. But to have them honor the law of the nations, and the law of the nations, hidden behind everything you see, is the law of the nations, which dictates everything. And under the law of nations, if you pay your home off with money, you don't pay property tax. But we have such a rogue nation right now, such a national socialist nation, national socialist, Nazi nation, fascist pig nation, that if you went in with a $5 coin to pay your home off, they'd probably arrest you.
Now, let's say they took that coin. How would they understand that they were obligated not to tax you on your property?
It doesn't matter. Once you get that, you get the title to your property, you take the video and you put it on YouTube and say, I just paid my home off with a $5 U.S. silver coin, which is money. Because when you're born, you're issued a Social Security or a birth certificate. The hospitals paid about $5,000, and on that birth certificate is a number, and that birth certificate is sold on the London market. Now, when you're issued a Social Security card, there is a red number on that Social Security card. That Social Security card clearly states, and your name is registered with the Corporation of the Office of Registrar in Washington, D.C. And what that means is under the 5444E Treasury form, you're supposed to be able to recover all the money that's in your Social Security account, which for me is about $130 million. So I did a Treasury Direct account authorization, not only as an American citizen, but as an ambassador, and they denied it, which means their system must necessarily fall apart now. They don't have a choice. They violated the law of nations. So we're going through this circle now where they're stuck. They have no other choice but to shut the system down. It's the law. There's a lot of laws behind the scenes that people are not aware of. So if you ever get pulled over by a traffic ticket, for example, they say, do you understand your rights? Well, you say, yeah, duh, I'm not stupid. Don't say that. You neither understand nor stand under English law, because when you walk into a court system, the flag has a fringe around it, which means it's the flag of no nation, Dwight D. Eisenhower, 1956, and the two fobs hanging down, the two little dangly bombs, means you're walking into an English court, and you say, my name is not written in capitals. I do not understand or stand under English common law. You must try me in an American court. And when you're given a ticket, it's not a crime because there are no victims. So you go in 65 and they give you a ticket. There are no victims, therefore it can't be a crime, right?
Right.
So
have you had this happen to you? Have you practically walked into a courtroom and tried this?
No, they erased my wife from the computer system. And I walked in and I said, we got a problem. The defense attorney said, what? I said, first of all, I'm a member of foreign royalty above the rank of baron, so if that judge even hears my case, he's a dead man. And I said, secondly, I'm an ambassador. And thirdly, I'm a Russian bishop, and if this is an act of war against Russia, she neither understood nor stood under English law. And the defense attorney looked at me, and he said some very choice words that weren't polite to say, and he went, and he walked out of the courtroom. And the judge who was hearing the case got sick for the day, and the prosecuting attorney was released to go home for the day, and the judge walked in and said, case dismissed.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I've heard in other states like Oklahoma, they'll just throw you in jail forever. So I don't know.
If you tried what you just said, what you just articulated, if you try that in an Oklahoma court, you'll get jail?
You may be. I don't know. It all depends on the judge. But being a member of foreign royalty changes a little bit of my status in there, because according to English common law, the Magna Carta was the note with barons and above. So if you're a baron or above, the bar stands for British Authorized Registry. The bar means they're loyal to the Queen of England. An esquire, a page, a knight, you often find like Orly Cates is an esquire as an attorney. That means she's an esquire for the knight who runs the barristers or the lawyers for England. Oh, the veil is being lifted. A PhD from Starbucks is the same as a PhD from Harvard.
All that stuff is very interesting to me, to the point where I want to gather that information, really internalize it, understand it, and produce a video on it. Do you have any information on your channel on that specific topic?
Yeah, but I do a video a day, so it just flies by. There's a couple of videos about the Office of Registrar in Washington, D.C. Okay, maybe a little unusual, but I was a forest engineer. I rated 92.5 on the state stat. I don't know how I got a half a point. They wouldn't hire me for a year because I was a white male, and they needed a non-white male. So I went to the governor's office, Governor Lowery's office, and I said, what's going on? I'm the highest-rated forester and forest engineer in the state, and I can't get a job with a 3.9 GPA and 7 years of forestry experience. So Doug Tanabe called me in. And he said, let me explain something. And he explained something. But before he called me in, the governor shook my hand and said, thank you for coming, da-da-da. And there's a dang business license on the door, on the upper right-hand corner of the door of the governor's office, just on the outside of the frame. Washington State is a corporation licensed by the Corporation of the United States. That's what began to open my eyes. United States Code 2, Section 286, the Bretton Woods Agreement, the United States Corporation. Well, if the United States is a corporation, that means what happened to the Republic? Turned out in 1861, a man named Abraham Lincoln took office as a member of the bar illegally, and he began the incorporation of the United States. And the southern
when was
states
that? What year was that fully realized? The corporation. When did it come about?
1871, the Organic Constitution of 1871. And our governor here in Washington State in 1867 wrote a constitution, or 1887. And then 400 Weyerhaeuser loggers were paid. They killed the governor, burned the Capitol down in Cle Elum. It's all in our history books. And then they went to Olympia to start the corporation of Washington State, where the Supreme Court promotes the rule of law, which means that the lawyers in the court systems make up the laws. Black Law Dictionary, 1960. So the rule of law means that the people have no say at all.
So what's the answer? How do people get out of this soup of corruption that we find ourselves in? How do you do that?
Well, we have 1 million people praying that it all comes apart, and then the republic comes back. And don't think your dinars are going to get revalued. I get contacted on a daily basis. We're just about to revalue the dinars and bring the republic back. Really? They've been doing that for 10 years. I tracked down the dinar revaluation to Pasadena FBI counterfeiting lab. So what you buy online is counterfeit. And then the three venture capitals, one has an address in a warehouse in an airport. The second one here in Washington State has an address in a vacant lot next to the Boeing airfield. And the third one uses an address of a house for sale on Zillow that's been unoccupied for years. So these are the people claiming the republic's coming back. Wow, interesting. Have you heard of the guy? They call him the natural living man, Ernie Tertelte, or I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's the guy that went. He's the guy that went into court and he blasted that judge for sitting behind a jolly. I mean, he called the flag a Jolly Roger. Have you ever heard that? No.
He basically was saying what you said. He said, "This is a British court, and I will not be tried by a British court," because what they got him for was fishing without a fishing license. And he said, I have the right as a natural man to forage for food without anybody telling me that I can or can't."
Well,
and so that was the whole point. Yeah. Yep.
And his name is in. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he said that very thing too. He said, "I'm not a corporation. My name is not written in all capital letters. My name is so and so. It's not what you think it is." And it's kind of an interesting. I'll shoot you the. It's an 8-minute video where he's actually in court talking to this judge, and the judge does not know how to handle him at all.
No, the judges don't know how to handle him. In this case, when they erased Jane, I went in there and I said, and I told them what I told them, and the prosecuting attorney was sitting there, a little affirmative action Oriental guy, couldn't even barely speak English. You know, they don't hire whites anymore. And the defense attorney was about 60 years old, tall, thin, and he just looked at me and said, "Oh, my God." I says, "Yeah, they're going to nuke this court system. Not kidding. Not a joke." And he panicked. He says, "You just wait right here." So, yeah, it does work if you stand there and you're polite and you don't call the judge a buffoon. You explain the facts carefully, calmly, and coolly. The judge will look at you 90% of the time and say, "Okay, I understand." And you say, "Look, but you know, there's times to fight and there's times not to fight. Buy a fishing license and buy a driver's license, please. That's not the place to fight this." You don't tell a guy on the beat, he's stressed out enough. A cop pulls you over and his adrenaline is running 99 miles an hour. That's not where you fight this. You just say, "Officer, I appreciate what you've done. I neither understand nor stand under English law. I will not sign that, but I will accept the ticket. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day." That's what you say. You don't argue with them. One of the things I've learned about the people who claim to be natural men is they all end up in jail eventually. I don't want to end up in jail. I want to fight this on YouTube. I want to fight this in the political system, not in some poor cop's face who's just stressed out. And I mean, he doesn't know who you are when he pulls you over. Yeah, okay, when you pull somebody over, you get the license, and then they find out who you are. You look on your computer, but you don't know if they're drunk or...
Right.
Oh, my God. Yeah. People who want to fight a cop when they pull them over are just insane.
Yeah, this guy's got a 45 caliber at his side, ready to discharge that thing with all that adrenaline going through his veins. You don't want to fight that battle there.
No, that's just you know, you and this is important. When if you want to do some filming of a riot, put it in your pocket so it barely sticks out of your pocket, and film. Don't hold it up to a cop's face. They get pissed. They're human too, you know. Some of them. I don't know. Some of them are pretty weird.
Well, what would you say?
What's your goal for your YouTube channel? Where do you want to take yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, my goal is to continue creating not just one specific avenue, but a wide variety of entertaining content. And the reason I say entertaining, because I want my audience to be engaged, but I want my content to impact. I want it to engage. I want it to educate. But I also wanted to leave them with this feeling of, man, I want to share this with other people. For example, the information you just gave me about the capital letters and lowercase letters and the English court system, I want to distill that kind of thing into a 5 to 7 minute video where not only people understand it, it engages them. I want to see comments. I want to see people share this with their family members to the point where they go, man, you guys got to see this. And because I believe the only way we're going to change this world is if we all get on the same page.
Oh, exactly. And I'll tell you, this may sound silly. I do YouTube and I have a business to do it. I don't cheat the system. I fight politically. Oh, I hope your wife, is she okay with you doing this? Because my wife's like, why are you out in the living room doing this? Go back in your office.
Oh, no, she's very, I have a girlfriend. She's very supportive.
Good. We've been working so hard putting in this floor. We're both just staring at each other like, huh? Well,
matter of fact, I've seen because your wife is mostly behind the video camera filming you, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen, of all the videos I've seen of yours, I haven't seen her face once, I don't think.
No, I don't think you have. We got married in the church, but not in the feds. Because at the time she was closing her dad's gas stations down, and her mom had put her on every credit card in the world, so we had to peel her out of the gas stations, and that couldn't have been done if we were married in the feds. So we married with God, but we didn't marry in the state or the corporation of the United States, because I don't know anywhere in the Bible where it says you're supposed to be married in a corporation. And I'll tell you, when you have separate bank accounts, almost all of the arguments are gone. She has her independence, and it makes the women happy.
William, right.
All right, folks, you need to take a look at this. This is called the Tiger Stream streaming device.
What's awesome about it is anyone that gets their hands on this is saving money. So this is a positive thing.
Pretty much, we're getting rid of cable because we heard about this.
People that are paying high bills, you can throw them away forever.
And I finally figured out a way to cut the cord for good and no longer pay subscription for cable.
I knew that this device had separated itself from the rest of the competition.
This is a really handy device that allows you to stream live content straight to your TV.
The Tiger Stream is the best media streaming Android device that I've ever used.
You can watch every game that you could imagine.
I swear, the Tiger Stream box is king.
You'll never pay for another PPV event again.
From the moment you open the box, the Tiger Stream is going to stand out from all the other streaming box providers.
In this day and age, when we're all trying to save a buck, a device like this, well, it just pays for itself time and time.
This is hands down one of the best options for a direct cable or satellite replacement box I've ever used.
How much money do you pay for cable, paying it to Comcast?
With all the content this device can access, it literally pays for itself in just a few months.
Every movie ever made since the 1930s.
Well, this new device right here, this device is going to change the game altogether.